Hey everybody, this is Brad from Johnson Small Engines, better known as the one-hand mechanic. If I can do it, you can too. Today we are working on a older style Craftsman with a 42-inch mower deck. This has the mechanical blade engagement arm underneath the mower deck. And today I'm going to show you how to install a mower deck belt. First thing I want to show you is that you want to use the OEM belts if you can. And just so you know, this one here, the part number is a 144200. And this is made in the USA. This is the OEM belt for this machine. And if you're looking for your model number to look up your part, it starts with 9172568. This one is pretty much worn away. Hopefully yours is not. I like to go by part numbers and not by measurements. A lot of people ask me how long is the belt. I don't go by that. I go by part numbers. Okay, so first we're going to go ahead and put the emergency brake on. Then you're going to lower the mower deck as far down as you can get it. And if you can do this on concrete or asphalt, it would be a lot easier to move the mower deck out. But we want to go ahead, take the front pin off the mower deck, which is right here. And pull that up and out. Now, if it's got tension on it, I like to use a pry bar. You guys can use a piece of wood to prop up the mower deck. It'll just alleviate the tension and allow it to come out. Just put that down off to the side. If you're going to keep the mower deck off for a long period of time, I highly recommend taking out the arms in the front here and just removing them if you're not going to have the mower deck on, but we're just replacing this belt. Okay, so you're going to take this pin out from this arm right here. Just pull that out. Again, this arm is tight on there, so I'm going to go ahead and lift up the front just a little bit, and it should allow me to pull this off like that. Put it up over the top. This one actually has a stabilizer bar on the back of it. This is a real old style. This is actually a good style. I like this, like these sway bar, anti-sway bars. They're really nice to have, but they actually stopped using them. I'm going to go around the other side. I'm going to go ahead and take the front pin out of the right side. Now, if the bar comes out, great. If not, sometimes you have to pick up on the front of the mower deck. We have an arm here that we have to take off. So we're going to pull that pin out. Also, when you put your pins back in again, try to put them in front to back. If you put them in back to front, we do about 90% of our driving in forward. So if you hit something, if something hits this pin, it'll pop out, and then you could actually, ultimately, you'd lose your arm. But driving in forward, if something hits the pin, it normally will go in, and we do most of our driving in forward. So just remember that when you put them back in again, put them from forward to rearward. Again, this arm has to come out, and this one here is a little bit hard. So we're gonna lift up on the back of the mower deck just a little bit, and that should come out. Put that off to the side. Now this has a mechanical arm, a rod right here, and if you can see the pin right there, that pin has to come off the rod so we can take this rod down. That's how the blade engagement is, the blade engagement rod. So we're gonna go ahead and pull that pin, drop that down. Now we have to go up to the front, take the mower deck belt off, go around the belt guide here and drop it down. Now pretty much you want to go ahead and lift up your mower deck arms by lifting up the mower deck height adjustment lever just to get them out of the way. That would be these guys right here now are out of the way. But we can go ahead and pull this mower deck out. Just like so. Now to replace this belt, we need a couple tools. We're going to have to take off this blade engagement arm, which is held in by a cotter pin. Some of them are held in by clip pins, but this is held in by a cotter pin. I like the cotter pins better because they hold on better. And then we need to get that cover off the belt. Okay, so starting at the cotter pin, and you guys might have a pin in here, a clevis pin, which in turn is easier to take off, but then they can also pop out. And I think through all the years I've been servicing this guy's machine, it was just easier for us to put a cotter pin in, so it would stay better. And then this will come out. Just push it off to the side for now. We need to use a T30 Torx head, and we're going to take off this belt guide right here. just so we can get to the belt. You can squeeze the belt under there sometimes, but I just want to show you guys how it's done. You can also, these had a Torx on top, but it's also a 3/8 on the side. Sometimes you can get a socket in there. I've had problems getting sockets in the side there, get kind of tight. But the reason why I'm showing you this is right here, if you have to engage the blade. If you engage the blade like so, then it'll pop these out and you might be able to squeeze the belt underneath it, but just for video purposes, it's easier just to go ahead and show you guys that. And in these little tangs, which is a belt guide, you want to make sure that you pop the belt off, and then you can just flip this back over, take the belt off of these little fingers. They're metal fingers, they're tabs, and they hold the belt in just fine. They're spring loaded. They're not spring loaded, they just feel like they're spring loaded, but they have to be a certain gap right there, so you have to be careful. And then you can just take this out. The blade engagement bracket I actually have engaged. The blade brakes are in the open position. You just take your belt off like so. We have the new belt, and we're gonna use the old belt. If you don't have the old belt, well then you can't do this, but it's always nice to make sure that you're getting close to the old belt. The new belt is obviously a little bit shorter because this one has stretched. Okay, so we're gonna have to go underneath this rod right here. All right, and then you're straight back along the back side. Now you can put your rod back in its hole so you know that your belt is under it and you're good to go. Now I'm going to go ahead and just put the cotter pin back in it. If your cotter pin or other pin is in bad shape, I would highly recommend replacing it. I'm going to go ahead and disengage this. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and engage that so we can open up the brakes here. Goes like that. This one goes back behind this bar right here. Like that, like so. This guy here goes under. Goes like that. I'm going to go ahead and disengage it. Now it doesn't look quite right there, but when you engage it, when it's on the mower deck, everything will line up. So when you have the blade engagement engaged, it pushes it back, so all these line up just fine. You can go ahead and put the cover back on. Don't recommend tightening them down until you get them all started. Snug them up. You don't want to go too tight because it's plastic. Before I put this back on the machine, I did do a blade engagement kit right here. It's brand new, and I'll put a link in the description below so you guys can check that out if you need anything. It's something that you might want to look at, and it will help if you're having problems with it engaging and disengaging and it won't come back off or back on. That's probably the problem right there. And also when you're out here, make sure you check your pulleys, make sure they're in good condition, check your blade hub bearings. Before I put this back on there again, just want to show you that if you have a manual PTO engagement rod like this is, there is an adjustment on the end of the rod right here. And as you can see, we adjusted this out a little bit because the old belt was actually getting loose, so we tightened it up by moving this out. This is a 9/16 wrench, and I'm going to go ahead and loosen this up. These can get very, very stubborn to take off as they get older in age. This also turns and it's on threads, so you can't slide it. That's why there's not a nut on the other side. I'm actually turning it back a few because the new belt is not going to need all that tension. And you just have to make sure that you remember which way this goes, because this has to go into a rod, so it has to be sticking this way. And when you tighten it, you can do this on the machine, but it's a little bit trickier. So you make an adjustment if you have to. You can loosen this up while it's under there, but always loosen this first before you put it in there, because these can be really stuck on there. And at least out here, you have ways to do it a little bit easier. Let's go ahead and put it underneath. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put the belt on first, and you just have to make sure you put it behind the belt guide right there, wrap it around the front of the engine pulley. You may or may not have different belt guides, but also I have seen these break off at the side of the frame. So make sure if you see a piece that's missing and this is still there, but you're missing all this, then you're missing the belt guide and you have to order that in. I'm gonna go ahead and put the front deck hanger on now. And you may need to slide the mower deck around a little bit to get it in position. Put your pin in and come back here. Now we can go ahead and, I like to put the blade engagement rod in while we're here. I'm gonna go ahead and put the blade height adjuster lever down. And then I'm gonna find the hole, which is right here. Now, if you're wondering if this is the right one, you can always take your left hand on the blade engagement rod and then engage and disengage it. You'll see that move. So you know it's the right one. It should be the only one there. Go ahead and put your rod inside there. Put your pin in. And then we're gonna go ahead and, as you can see, we're real far away right here. We have to pick up the mower deck to get it into the hole. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my pry bar underneath the back. You guys can use like a block of wood or a pry bar, which help. And I have to manipulate the whole entire mower deck a little bit. Like if I pick up the front, you can see how it moves the back. So you just kind of have to manipulate the mower deck and then eventually it'll just go on. You might have to pick up the front or the back or both. Put your pin in facing rearward like that. Let's go around to the other side. Gonna go ahead and put the left front deck hanger in. And again, you may just have to slide the mower deck around a little bit to get it to line up. Put your pin in. Go to the center of your mower. Now this hanger right here is behind it. You have to put it in front. And then again, like I said, you can't go all the way down, so we're gonna have to pick up the front end of the mower deck a little bit. Pull that off around there. Slides on. Put your pin in. Now this one has the stabilizer bar in the rear. I'm gonna pick that up. That one should be fairly easy to just hook on. Put your pin in. At this point, you wanna go ahead and engage your blades. Come down here, make sure everything is running as it should. And this one is extremely tight. I'm gonna loosen up the blade engagement rod because it's just, that's really, really tight. There is no give because there's no spring tension. It's just that blade engagement rod. Disengage the mower deck belt. I'm gonna go around to the other side. This may be a little bit tricky for me to show you, but I'll do the best I can. This is your blade engagement rod. And when you engage it, okay, you're pulling that back. All right, so we wanna lessen that tension. We're gonna make this adjustment, go back on the rod more. That'll shorten the rod, that'll make it less tension. So we have to pull the pin. And actually, before I pull the pin, I'm gonna go ahead and loosen up this 9/16 socket I can get on here. It's gonna give me a little bit better leverage. Loosen that nut up while it's on. All right, I got it loose. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the pin. Set that down. This should just drop out like that. And now, if you can just see above here, it's really hard to show this, but I'm screwing this in to make it shorter. And I'll show this to you in a minute when I get it done here. Okay, you see how far in that is from that nut? So we're about a ½ an inch shorter than we were. That belt was just way too tight. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the rod in the hole and then I'm gonna screw the nut in. And then I'm gonna put the pin in before I tighten anything just to see if it loosened up the belt. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and engage it. It feels much better, a lot lighter now. And the tension is still fairly tight, but it's not as tight as it was. You have to be careful. If you over tighten it, you can snap the belt. So it's kind of just like a good feel on how it feels. And then take it out for a run and see how it is. If you need to tighten it up some, you can tighten it up some, but I'm gonna leave it go at that. So right now we're gonna go ahead and disengage it. And then we have to tighten up that nut, and it's tight. Okay, so at this point, we're gonna go ahead and take it out for a run, engage the mower deck. We're gonna adjust the tires. We're gonna level the mower deck. I'm gonna go ahead and show you the tools that we need today. Okay, so this is the old belt. The new belt had a 144-200. Now, American Yard Products was taken over by Husqvarna, and Husqvarna puts a 532 in front of it. So if you're looking up this belt and you come across the part number and then 532 in front of it, that's exactly right. Now, I did have the model number of this machine on my records. It was 917.256810. You definitely want to go to Sears Parts Direct, look up online, and get the right belt for your machine. It may not be exactly what this one is, so I would definitely double check the part number. Use the T30 Torx to get the cover off, 9/16 1/4 inch, 9/16 3/8 for my electric ratchet, 1/4 inch ratchet, an extension, 9/16 wrench, pair of cutters to get the cotter pin out, and a pair of pliers to get the clips off. I always use my 1/4 inch electric ratchet, and I didn't put in here, but if you have any blocks that you can put the mower deck up on that might help you relieve some stress on the arms that you're taking off, I use just a pry bar that works out well for me. So that pretty much wraps it up for how to install a mower deck belt on a Craftsman riding mower with a 42-inch mower deck. And this has the mechanical blade engagement rod instead of the cable. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe, share my channel with your friends, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.